And once I do that, you gotta watch the wrong stuff, because that's what happens. So, yeah, good times.
3 top ways to handle objections. Hey, what's up? This is Pete Scott here, sales and business mentor for the 1%. If you are here on this channel because you want to learn how to have the best career and a business possible, you want to increase your sales, you want the catalyst to ignite your sales performance, you are in the right place. And in this video specifically, I'm going to help you deal with those horrible things that we have to deal with every single day in a sales role, which is people having objections. I've done a previous video on objections, so make sure you check out that one too. But in this one, I'm going to share this from a slightly different angle, because these 3 things, even if you do all 3, because you do need to do all 3, it will make a big shift in how you sell overall. So without any further delay, let's get into it. Let's find out how to handle objections so you can have that confidence, you can ignite that certainty, and you can close more sales and help a lot more people. Step number 1, pre-handle your objections. Before we even go into handling objections, which is still reactive, it's crucial that you are first of all proactive. And that means that most of handling objections is what happens not during the objection, but it's before you even step onto the sales floor, before you even walk into the sales arena. Your psychology must be right. You must know the main objections that you get. Because if you're selling a product or a service that you believe in and you say you're passionate about, then let me challenge you on something. Why don't you yet know what your top 2 or 3 objections are? Because once you know your top 2 or 3 objections, you can build a strategy in your sales conversation during the qualification stage, by the way. So when you're asking questions to your customers to see if they're even right for your product, you can factor in those objections. So for example, if somebody has a cost objection, then the last thing that you want is to go through a 1-hour sales presentation and then have that fear in the back of your mind. And this is how you know that you're being reactive as a sales professional. You will have a fear in the back of your mind, and it will go like this, with a little voice, and it will say, hopefully they can afford it. Hopefully they won't bring up the cost objection. And that little voice will be playing in your mind for the entire 60-minute or even 30-minute sales presentation. So you're much better off by pre-handling objections. Write this down, write in the comment section, pre-handle objections. So if someone has that cost objection, you simply, at the beginning of the conversation, if you sell a high-end product, for example, you will state to that person, I know that you came to see me because you want a proper solution to the challenge that you're having or the problem that you're having with X, Y, or Z. So I just want to go over this first, and if you don't mind, to let you know that anybody who does decide to go ahead with my service or product, there is an investment, and it's one that I want you to be comfortable with. It may stretch you, but the reason why I believe you came to see me is because you are ready to resolve this issue. Is that true or false? When that customer says yes, what have you just done? You pre-handled the cost objection. So that is step number 1, pre-handle cost objections, or pre-handle any objection. The only way that you can do that is by knowing the main objections that your business has. Step number 2, now we get into even if you've done all the right things, you pre-handled the objections, but you get to the end, you're closing, and now you face objections. The first thing to know is that it is more challenging, but what you must do is maintain your composure, maintain your certainty. Most salespeople, when they get to the close, what they end up doing is a number of things, but the main thing that they do is that they go too high emotionally or they go too low emotionally. Think about this. The most certain person always influences the other. And when you are certain, you are not too high or too low emotionally. But if you get an objection and you didn't see it coming, that means you'll become reactive, and immediately you will go into your fight or flight mechanism. And when you step into that mindset, unfortunately, it's going to hinder you from maintaining your composure and being able to close the deal. And instead, what you're going to do is you're going to either justify the costs, or you're going to justify the product, and that's one of the most dangerous things that you can do. All of the work to build the value, all of the effort that you put in to build up the confidence in your solution cannot be unfolded in the close. So step number 2 is to never justify. Never justify the cost in the close. Never justify the commitment. Never justify your product, because you've done all that already. So that's step number 2. Never justify. Step number 3 is to detach from the outcome. This is, I will admit it, initially the hardest thing to do, especially if it's your own product, especially if you deeply care about the product or service you provide. But let me share this with you. Are you a professional in what you do? Yes or no? Are you great at what you do? Yes or no? Have you done the work for months, if not years, to be a professional in what you do? So, the last thing you want to do is try and convince the world that they should buy your solution. Your job is to qualify that client or that customer and get them to a point where, in fact, you're not selling to them, but they are, in essence, in a positive way, selling to you, that they are ready to do the solution that you have for them. Because would you rather have 20 customers who get your solution, who are all in and all on board in what you have to offer? Or would you rather be chasing 1,000 customers saying, please buy my business, please buy my solution? Sales is a psychology. You've got to get the psychology down right and down first. Step number 3, and this is the most important step in overcoming and handling objections. It is to detach from the outcome. The main problem with salespeople today and people trying to sell their product or service is that they are too emotionally attached to the result. They're thinking that if I don't get this deal, then I'm not going to get my commission, or I'm not going to be able to pay my rent. And by doing this and having all this emotional attachment to what you sell, you put yourself in a place of disempowerment. And even though you may not say it, your micro expressions, your body language will display that to your customer. And it only takes one micro expression, it only takes one shadow of doubt in your tone of voice for your customer from going from a huge yes to a, I'm not sure if this person believes in what they're selling or not. And that's where the doubt creeps in. You've got to be able to detach from the outcome. Yes, be passionate about your product or service. Yes, give your absolute best. But I don't care if you have $1 million in your bank account or you are in the last pound of your overdraft. One of the strongest places you can get to as a human being and as a sales professional is to know that you already offer an amazing product or service, that there are customers out there in abundance if you just do the hunting, if you put yourself out to the world. The main issue that I see is that most people get so attached to the outcome of one sales conversation. And think about it this way. If you're attached to the outcome of one sales conversation, oh my goodness, I really hope this one lead pulls through and that they say yes. Number one is that you're going to come across like you're desperate for the sale. But number 2, the deeper psychology here is that you are not doing the real work. You shouldn't be focused on just one deal. Your main focus should be, why have I not got 20 potential customers lined up, 50 potential clients in my sales funnel? So if you are still too attached to the outcome, think about the deeper psychology. Are you doing enough work to bring in enough leads? If the answer is no, then start there. But secondly, with this detachment of outcome, I want you, and it sounds cliche, it sounds cheesy, but I want you to work on the most important thing of all. You. Your confidence, your body language, your tone of voice, how you emphasize certain words. If you're a shy person, ask yourself, because there's nothing wrong with being shy, but ask yourself the honest question, is being shy working for you in getting your product out to the world? Because if it isn't, it's simply a strategy. A better strategy of saying, I will take on the psychology to succeed. What you see in this video, what you see with all my videos, if you've met me in person, people say to me, Pete, you are so confident. I wish I could be like you. And I say, why not? Because what most people don't know is that what I am today, I wasn't born like this, it's learned. I used to be a shy guy. I was the guy who would sit at the back of the class and not speak up. I was the guy who practiced being shy, being quiet. And it was only because of looking at the rest of the world and seeing that, wow, if I work on my confidence, if I work on getting to a point where I'm not needy, that I can serve the world, that's where I can make the biggest impact. And that's where I can create the most success. So I want you to do the same thing too. So there's your 3 steps to handle and even overcome objections. There's so much more that I can share about this, but what I want you to do at this stage is start with 1 micro commitment. Comment below the one thing that I've said in this video that resonates with you. The one thing that you will implement, not tomorrow, not next week, but today into your career and business. Thank you for joining me. I've got plenty more of these videos to come, so keep checking in. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, what are you waiting for? Let's overcome these objections together and let's smash goals. I'll see you in the next video. I won't hit my commission, or I won't be able to pay my bills. That's not the place to be. Oh, guys.